6-week recovery timeline. He's got it wrapped, super heavily in this game. Hey, man, I was questioning the decision of head coach David Adelman to put Michael Porter Jr. out there in Game 3, and I was questioning it again that he started tonight. Credit to Michael Porter Jr. I mean, what a performance from him. After that Game 3, he's got the shoulder wrapped, and he goes 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, and pours in 17 points. I mean, all the criticism Michael's gotten this year, and I think a lot of it is deserved. I tell you what, man, this shows a lot about who Michael Porter Jr. is as a basketball player and the mindset he has. He clearly could have taken this game off and nobody would have said a word. But the fact that he gave it a go tonight and performed as well as he did is a testament to him as a person.
Because I agree with you. And I think over the last couple of years where he's played 82, I think on purpose to kind of make a point, he's shown his toughness, and I don't think that's in question. But if Westbrook is out, is in today rather than out, do you think they sit Michael
good
Porter
question.
Jr.?
Very good question.
Because I think everybody was feeling how you were, DT. You're questioning the decision to play him in that Game 3 and how effective he can be. He's still had a couple turnovers that looked like they might be because of the shoulder, but played a great game, don't get me wrong. All that said, if Westbrook's a go tonight, is he maybe the one that gets sat down? Because they really didn't have much off the bench.
They had nothing.
You had Peyton Watson had I think 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
13 minutes, 2 points for Peyton Watson.
Everybody else was like 2 minutes off the bench. Vlatko Čančar made an appearance.
In the first quarter. In the first quarter, Vlatko was out there. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Rob, they got 4 points from their bench.
I mean, that's
4.
crazy. That's crazy.
Look.
So does MPJ play because he has to? You know what I mean?
That's a good question, and that is the big concern. Obviously, it's been all year with this Nuggets team is their lack of depth,
sure.
And that's obvious. Now, with that being said, the good thing for the Nuggets in this series, Rob, is their bench isn't great either. In fact, I think in the first 2 games, the Nuggets bench outscored the Clippers bench. But obviously, I think they got outscored 31-6 off the bench in Game 3. They got outscored again tonight, but luckily for the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic just went nuclear. And when people were talking about, the Nuggets are done in this series, my only rebuttal was, I hear what you're saying, but I've always said, anytime you've got Nikola Jokic, you've got a shot.
Sure.
And, today was a perfect example of when you've got the dude, you always have a shot. And without his monster performance tonight, they don't win this game.
Well, and I do think it is taken for granted. I had somebody say to me, like, you haven't really felt him in this series yet.
I would say that's actually kind of fair.
But they scored 101 points tonight. He scored 33 of them. 36 of them. And then he assisted on another 10. So, that's
8 assists, but 21 rebounds.
Okay, so literally half their points he's responsible for. I don't know how you could feel him more than that. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
And it's a situation where they're just so devoid of depth or talent in other places that you need that from him to even make these games close. I don't know. I think we take for granted the incredible performances it's a 30-point double-double, almost triple-double, and we're like, he did what we expect him to do.
Well, he got a triple-double in Game 3.
Yeah.
And it was like you didn't feel, but that's kind of where Joker is, and that's where this team is. If Nikola Jokic, he can go for a triple-double, and it looks quiet considering what he's, so used to doing for this basketball team. But I'll tell you what, man, besides Michael Porter Jr., I thought Christian Brown had a really nice bounce-back game today. He has really struggled in this series. In fact, one of the reasons I think Christian Brown has struggled so much in this series is because the Nuggets have not been able to get out in transition and get those fast break points.
Yeah.
They were the number 1 fast break scoring team in the NBA in the regular season. Rob, they scored 3 fast break points for the entire game in Game 3. 3.
Yeah.
They had 8 in the first quarter tonight. And so that's another area that the Nuggets have to continue to build upon is the transition game. How do you do that? stop turning the ball over.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And force the Clippers to turn the ball over. They can get out in transition. They had 1 turnover in the first quarter. So excellent job by the Nuggets tonight.
And I think their defense was real good in the third quarter, and you started to see a little bit of that Nugget flow. You kind of said to yourself, this is the speed of the game that the Nuggets want. Back and forth, up and down the floor. They didn't convert maybe as many of the chances as you wanted to, but they were definitely stopping them on defense, getting the ball back, and going up and down the floor. Listen, if you had told me the score was going to be 101-99, I would have told you that's a game that favors the Clippers. The fact that you didn't get a monster game out of Jamal Murray or something like that and still were able to win a battle like that, I think speaks very highly of the talking to that they maybe gave themselves after Game 3.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Jamal was 2 of 11 from the field going into the fourth quarter where the Nuggets had a 20-point lead. Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here like, wow, I cannot believe the Nuggets have a 20-point lead when your second-best player is 2 of 11 from the field. I mean, that's insane. Now, I will say, as bad as Jamal was this afternoon, he did hit some clutch shots down the stretch. And you know, that's the thing that the Nuggets don't have on this team, Rob, when Jamal is not in there. They don't have a closer. Now, you could make the argument that Nikola Jokic is their closer, but the problem with that is he gets double and triple teamed every single time down the floor. So you have to have one of the other guys be the closer for this team, and that's what we saw from Jamal tonight. We've seen this before from him in his career. When it's a close game, last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, Jamal Murray has to hit shots, and he hit a couple of big ones tonight, so that was good to see.
I think you got to give credit to Zubac, though. I mean,
he has been awesome in this series.
He has been so good. He has been all in Joker's chili, and you know, you look at the stat lines and you wouldn't necessarily believe it.
9 of 14 for Zubac tonight.
But offensively, he's been great. Defensively, I think he's been hanging with Joker, which says something. And even on that last shot of the game, I mean, that last possession, he is all over Jokic, and Jokic literally throws up a prayer, and it gets answered because, you know, AG's in the dunker. But it's one of those situations where I think Zubac is one of the toughest matchups for him in a one-on-one in the Western Conference. You know, you can talk about Gobert being able to play off of him and coming on as a help defender. But in terms of like one-on-one straight defense, you really, I think, got to hand it to him for controlling at least how he plays the game a little bit.
I mean, I think you're right initially, but what I've noticed in this series, Rob, like when Nikola Jokic gets the ball in the post, he is getting swarmed. Yeah. I mean, Zubac plays him straight up until he gets into the painted area. Then you've got a double or triple team every single time. And in fact, you know, after Game 3, I was saying Joker's taking too many outside shots. Like, I think going into Game 3, he only had 11 shot attempts in the painted area. Well, that's because he's getting swarmed every time he gets down there, and they're forcing him to be an outside shooter. But I thought he did a much better job tonight of getting to his spot before he got the inbounds pass. That allowed him to sort of, you know, avoid that double and triple team swarm right away. Well, I'll be curious to see if the Clippers try to make an adjustment as far as that goes coming up for Game 5.
And to that point, shout out to the rest of the starters, all in double figures, because when he does get swarmed like that, you got to hit your shots.
You got to have your guys hit their shots. I mean, that's the only way to sort of break that sort of strategy up. And, you know, by the way, reports came out this morning, Rob, that Aaron Gordon's calf is so injured right now, he said he can hardly jump. You've got Aaron Gordon with the calf. He can hardly jump. Michael Porter Jr.'s got a 20 to 30% healthy left shoulder that he said it would be a 4 to 5 week recovery. I mean, I'll tell you what, man, the toughness of this team is special.
And I got news for you. If you make it through, we're all talking about how happy we are this series is tied. If you make it through, the team you're going to play
is the Thunder.
And they just finished today.
They just won their series today.
They are going to be on at least a week's worth of rest.
I mean, this thing has 6 or 7 written all over it.
All over it. So, I mean, we're going 6. We know that now. You know, it could be 7. So they're going to be well rested, and you're going to be beat up going into that series.
Yeah, but, you know, like,
if you even make it there, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Glass half full view on that is there are circumstances that have played out over the course of any sport in the playoffs where a team, and especially young teams like the Thunder, where they get a week or so or more of rest, and they kind of come out flat in the first couple of games. Now, look, the Nuggets got to win this series first, okay? But I will just say whoever ends up playing the Thunder in that second round, yes, the rest will benefit them, I guess. But for a young team like them, man, if I was the Thunder, I want to play right like tomorrow in round 2. Having a week or so off with a young team, I do think can hurt them a little bit. But, man, those guys they are rolling right now.
They look like the best team in the NBA.
I would be shocked if they weren't in the finals this year, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's take a quick timeout here. We've got Avs and Stars coming up. It's on 950 pregame right now. We're gonna simulcast that right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. As soon as we're done with our In the Paint postgame show, you'll be able to hear Avs and Stars Game 4 at Ball Arena coming up here on both stations. Want to remind you to lock in your 4-game pick'em plan for the 25-26 season. Starting at just $100, choose your games and seats once the schedule drops in August. Save on fees and get 2025 playoff priority access. Secure your plan today, and don't miss the biggest moments at Ball Arena. Visit nuggets.com to purchase. We are live here at Tony Tenderoni's as the Nuggets get the 101-99 victory over the Clippers and tie this thing up at 2 games apiece. We'll hear from Nuggets head coach David Adelman after a quick timeout right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
The Avalanche and Stars Game 5 is Monday night in Dallas, but the party is still here in Denver. It's the Altitude Sports Radio Avs viewing party at Stoney's Bar and Grill at 11th and Lincoln. It all starts Monday at 6 with Birdo's Blitz. Raj will be on hand with your chance to win some cool Avs swag. Enjoy some great food, watch the game, then stay for the Between the Pipes postgame show with Raj and Spring. The Avs viewing party at Stoney's Bar and Grill Monday. Brought to you by Milagro, a brighter side of tequila. Altitude Sports Radio is the home of your Denver Nuggets, and we want to put you at Ball Arena for all the playoff action.
And the crowd is into it.
All day Tuesday, it's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Tuesday. We've got your tickets for Nuggets Clippers Game 5. Listen on the 20s for keywords to text and enter.
Get yourself some.
It's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Tuesday.
This is all you want out of a playoff game, people.
From the home of the Nuggets, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Spring is here and you're looking for a new ride. That means you're going to get to Silterhar Motors in Broomfield and get employee pricing. Mosher, you heard me correctly. Right now, employee pricing and awesome deals are to be had on over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. Selection of top brands is huge. The value is unsurpassed. So do yourself a favor. Shop online at sthmotors.com. Then get to Silterhar Motors right at Highway 36 in Wadsworth in Broomfield. Greg Larson and his crew are going to hook you up in a big-time way because it's Silterhar. It's everything you want out of a dealership.
Done right, did right by me. We've heard those words before. Hi, Dan Cicchini. For Kitchens Done Right, our forte is custom kitchens. But also, ever since we started back in '85, kitchen cabinet refacing and custom countertops. With our unique refacing process, you'll get a brand new looking kitchen without the mess, hassle, time, and expense of total kitchen replacement. How's it done, Todd?
Folks, we'll install custom hand-rubbed cabinet doors and drawer fronts and resurface your existing cabinet boxes with a 1/4-inch thick overlay to match, not veneer. We offer additional cabinets, cabinet changes, sliding shelves, and new drawers. Countertops in quartz, granite, solid surface, or the stunning new laminate. Dad, the folks should call now. Why?
Well, Todd, great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% with 72 equal monthly payments with approved credit. Call for details. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors. Finished basements and windows and doors. Done Right. You have our word. We'll treat you right at Done Right. DRHI.com, 303-722-2295 or 800-362-837.
Nate Kreckman here for Apple Air. Your furnace is working all the time. Even when you're in AC mode, that furnace is circulating the air in your home. Well, for just $29.99, Apple Air will give it a full checkup, no strings attached. At Apple Air, they're offering this to new customers as a way to introduce themselves and show you the level of care and expertise that they bring to every home. Not just checking a box, they are here to earn your trust for the long haul. Book your $29.99 furnace checkup today at AppleAir.com or call 303-733-2813.
We're talking about the sports you're talking about. Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Is right now a good good time to buy a home in Colorado? The answer is absolutely yes. We are in a buyer's market. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines, you need to call American Financing today. The first step to getting a home is getting the right loan. And they can pre-approve you in 24 hours or less. There are more houses on the market today than there have been in the last 5 years. Interest rates are competitive and home prices have been stable. That means you can find a great deal while locking in a monthly payment that fits your budget. Plus, with home equity building over time, your investment grows, making home ownership a smart long-term financial decision. And you don't need 20% down. You could be in your new home with as little as 3% down. Plus, they offer down payment assistance programs to make home ownership even easier. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hi, Terry Lombardi, along with Vic.
For Redbird Farms chicken, you could taste the difference.
Which is why Redbird Farms is offered by fine restaurants.
Yeah, and the Redbird Farms is juicy, tender, and delicious. It's so tender you can cut it with a fork, don't even need a knife. Available at King Soopers, City Market, and Safeway.
Redbird Farms chicken, what real chicken tastes like. Did you hear me clapping? Which I don't know why I clapped.
It's a wrap.
Redbird Farms.
Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Nuggets postgame continues. You're in the paint.
Welcome back to In the Paint right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. What a thrilling finish for the Nuggets and Clippers in Game 4 of this first round Western Conference playoff battle. Nikola Jokic goes up for the turnaround game-winning three-pointer, doesn't hit the rim, but Aaron Gordon is right there to dunk that thing home with literally 0.01 seconds left on the clock. I mean, this was the closest finish to a basketball game that I've ever seen in my entire life. What a thrilling win for the Nuggets. Again, this thing is all tied up at 2 games apiece. Game 5 will be here in Denver coming up on Monday night as the Nuggets look to take a 3-2 series lead. Look, if the Nuggets lose this game, this thing is all but over. But now there's new life with this team. They've got home court advantage back in their favor, and if they can find a way to get a win on home court coming up on Monday, they've got this thing in the driver's seat, and they should be able to hopefully get this thing done. But we'll see coming up for game number 5. All right, let's go ahead, Jordan, and hear from the Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman after the Nuggets get a thrilling 101-99 victory over the LA Clippers.
To our guys' credit, in the NBA, it's really true. You talk about this all season long in situational basketball. When the shot goes up, there's no reason not to crash everybody. So it was good to see our guys do that. Obviously, you could say it's a lucky play, but that's a big athletic man, and he met the ball early. I couldn't tell if it was good or not. I was preparing for overtime, so this was a game where I was really proud of us for 3 quarters. They have a lot to be proud of in the fourth quarter. They were incredible in that quarter with their defense and the way they picked up. And, it's one of those things where that's going to be on NBA TV someday, and I'm glad we won the game. I'm glad it'll be on Nugget Day and not Clipper Day. So, hell of a win, 2-2 going home.
David, you spoke about Jokic trying to find trying to find a balance and being more aggressive, and maybe going back to the film and looking at it. Obviously, he was pretty impressive today. What did you see there? What was the difference in his performance and his scoring performance?
Yeah, I thought he was more aggressive to shoot the ball. I did think our spacing was better, which allows him to get to space and score, and not in the fourth quarter, when they junked it up, but throughout the game. And he did a great job of finding soft spots in their defense. We did a much better job in this game in the first 3 quarters of slowing down and getting organized. And it showed, early in the game, much more of a half-court offensive team, not just racing the ball up and down. And if you can do that, I think Nikola thrives in that. Like I said, in the regular season, we were a race it up and down the court kind of team. I saw a much more under-control basketball team those first 3 quarters, which got us that lead. And we have to be able to continue, that in the fourth if we're going to win two more games in the series. So I really mean that. Like, organized basketball allows guys to play they can take a deep breath, they can see the spacing, they can make the right basketball play. So really proud of the guys, and obviously Nikola was the 3-time MVP we all know.
Coach, is there any chance that last shot was a pass?
No.
I mean, because it is not that easy to catch the ball in midair. I mean, usually a guy like that can time it.
Right.
Aaron Gordon can time a rebound.
No, I think
it almost felt like a lob the way he caught it.
Yeah, and the guys on the bench, because we had no timeouts left, everyone said it in the huddle, make sure you just get a shot up. When you get a shot up, it gives everybody an opportunity. And like I said, would have rather have him have a much deeper catch. But we got the ball in his hands. You can't stop the game then. He gets a shot at the rim. And obviously Aaron made an enormous play.
David, are you able to almost take a sigh of relief now that the series is tied at 2-2 and it's a best of 3 now?
No. What I was excited about is things that we talked about the last, 36 hours. I felt like, all the themes that we had said we got to be better at. We were much more physical defensively at the point, with Harden and Kawhi. Like I said, I thought we slowed down offensively and controlled the pace of the game. And then to their credit, like I said, I thought we were the better team for 3 quarters, obviously. And I give them credit. Their fourth quarter, the intensity, the energy they had was extremely impressive. And we have to learn from that. Obviously, easier to learn after a win. But we'll watch that film, and we're going to break that thing down. Win, lose, whatever. It's game 5. And each one of these games, like I said, is its own thing. It's its own chapter in the book. So learn from what we have to learn from, but also take the positives away from things we really struggled in game 3 with, and that the guys came out and said, we're going to change that for game 4 to give us a chance to win a really high-level playoff game. So proud of the guys, in that area.
You gave the Clippers a lot of credit for that fourth quarter. They do pick up their defense intensity, but they're down 20, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys also maybe offensively took your foot off the gas a little bit, maybe even defensively try not to foul? How would you describe just off the top of your head?
I agree with that. I thought we lost our aggressiveness offensively, and I also thought, sometimes when you see whatever the defense is, whether it's, a zone, it's a matchup zone, it's a box and one, whatever it is, sometimes you just got to run your stuff and let it come to you. And I thought we were staring at it, trying to figure it out. And I think, that's something we can work on and talk about. We haven't had issues with zones throughout the season. So it's nice to be able to look back in it after a win, and improve on it. But yeah, I agree with that. Our aggressiveness. And I thought defensively, look, I ran the guys. And I knew, keeping the 4 or the 5 starters to start the fourth, I was taking a chance. And Jamal was the only guy not out there. So we'll learn from that too. Look back at the rotation, who we're comfortable with to start that quarter, to give us those first 3 minutes. So maybe there's more than one fresh body coming in, to win a game like that. So, like I said, much to learn from, but really excited, having the win.
Coach, talking point for you yesterday and Thursday night, looking at film, more physicality, bring the fight to the Clippers, bring the fight.
Yeah.
Today, you guys did that, sometimes literally. What were, some of the things that went into that, and, what were some of the things that prepared to that, and just the resilience that you guys showed?
Yeah, I think when you lose a game like we did in game 3, you don't just lose the game on the scoreboard. You feel like you got punked mentally. That's not a good feeling. And when you have another chance, that's why the NBA playoffs are so amazing, is there's the next chance until somebody ultimately wins the series. We had to respond. And I love the fight from our guys, standing up for each other. We have to be smart in those situations, obviously, but that is the playoffs. And I felt like they played, that way in game 3, and we did not. And today was completely different. I saw something in the eyes of our players. You saw the physicality early in the game, the way we picked up full, challenging them. We have to challenge them. You can't just let them walk the ball down the floor like they're in a pickup game because they're too talented. And so game 5 is going to be the same thing, and it'll be the same thing from them. What's the next level you can take it? How mentally tough can you be while still, pushing that physicality? And I said it before the series, physicality first, IQ next. You have to engage early in the game. If you don't, you're telling the officials, you're telling the opponent that you didn't come to play. And we certainly came to play tonight.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Gordon was a hero tonight, but what's your message to those who say he should have been ejected in the scuffle that happened earlier?
Then a lot of people should have been ejected. There was a lot of people in that scuffle. You can define whatever you want to define with open hand, all that stuff. But I saw a lot of people starting that and ending it. So I don't think Aaron has a reputation of being that person. Obviously, in those situations, you have to be intelligent. But these are two teams trying to do something really special, trying to move on. And, I thought they handled it the right way. I didn't think there was anything extracurricular after the fact that you could say was dangerous. And I thought both teams were just going at it, trying to win a game. And I didn't see anything after the fact, after the, whatever you want to call it. Everybody seemed like they were cool. Let's go play. So we both know what this is. There's a ton of respect on both sides for the players. These guys have been playing each other for a long time, two veteran teams. So I thought it was handled correctly.
David, we spoke with you all week, David, about Michael Porter's status, if he'll play, how well he can play. Plays tonight, hit some big shots. What was that conversation like tonight, and what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, it's just a gradual conversation in the last 36 hours with the medical staff and Michael and where he's at and the treatment he's getting. And I'm going to say this again for the 5th time. Michael's one of the toughest guys I've ever coached. The injuries he's been through, what he plays with nightly, and then you add this to it. And how about some of the shots he made tonight? Not only the shots he made, but if you watch the tape, every shot he makes, even when he makes it, he's grimacing. It hurts to get the ball above his head. And you can say, oh, it's the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. These injuries that Michael's gone through, they're legit. And he's tough. And he's playing for his teammates. He's playing because he knows this is one of the opportunities in his life. He gets to do something with a team that's really special. So, there's a reason why we hung a banner, man. Like, Michael was a part of that. And what he did tonight, all the shots he made late in the clock, it kept us ahead. Just really proud of Michael.
Hey, Coach. Aaron is the type of guy who does a lot of grunt work, who's worked really hard to be such an important player on this team. What's it like just seeing him have a moment like that?
For me, it's special beyond the Nuggets. I was with Aaron in Orlando and watching him grow up and just mature as a man. And what he's been through this past year, seeing him, what he was in Orlando and working on his skill set, and to come to a team like ours and say, you know what, I'll take a step back. I'll be a very high-level role player. And I can go on and on. He initiates offense. He guards some of the best players in the NBA. You can post him. He can go one-on-one. You can ISO him against smaller guys. You can put him on smaller, offensive players. And on top of all that, Aaron doesn't care if it's 12, 8, and 4 that night as long as we win. And some nights it's 22, 12, and 6. If we lose, he doesn't care. He wants to win. And there's certain people in our league that really I would define as championship pieces. I think we say that too much. He is one of those people. He is the definition of that, and he always has been since he got to us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman as the Nuggets get the 101-99 victory over the LA Clippers. I'm seeing here that Nikola Jokic, after the game, said that, that was not a pass. That was a shot. And I think that's pretty obvious. As good as Nikola is and as high as his basketball IQ is, there's just no way in hell that was a pass attempt from Nikola Jokic with the time winding down. But how about this? According to ESPN Research and Basketball Reference, that Aaron Gordon dunk is the first ever game-winning buzzer beater in NBA postseason history as far as a dunk goes. It was the first ever game-winning buzzer-beating dunk in NBA postseason history, and just in the nick of time, literally 0.1 seconds left on the clock. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of Clippers fans complaining that it was still touching his fingers. Okay. I mean, it was so close that it's almost impossible to tell. But it was in the rim. Technically, I guess the rule is that it does have to, even if it's in the basket, it has to be off of your fingertips. But it was so close that it was nearly impossible to tell, and they ended up just giving it to Aaron Gordon. I mean, it really, that last call pretty much could have gone either way. Okay, real quick. Tuesday is Game 5. Tuesday. This coming Tuesday is another Nuggets Playoff Ticket Tuesday on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. You can buy tickets for all playoff games at nuggets.com/playoffs, but you can win them from us. So we'll have keywords on the 20s with tickets to Game 5 from your home for the Nuggets Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We will lead you right up to puck drop between Avs and Stars. They've got it on the TVs here at Tony Tenderoni's. They're doing the pregame ceremonies right now. Just saw Gabe Landeskog was the pregame on-ice interview for the Avalanche. He'll be back in the lineup for his second game back in the playoffs for the Colorado Avalanche as they look to do what the Nuggets just did, even up their series in Game 4 against the Dallas Stars. That game's going on right down the road from here at Ball Arena. And, I think the Avs can do it. I think they can do it, but we shall see. All right, we're going to hit our close here. We'll come back and wrap this thing up live from Tony Tenderoni's right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
This has been In the Paint, Denver Nuggets postgame show.
Holy cow.
On Denver's official home for Nuggets basketball. Altitude Sports Radio.
That was fun.
92.5.
All right, we are back live here at Tony Tenderoni's. We're getting you set for puck drop between the Avs and Stars. That's going to be in about, 30 seconds here. We've got it live on AM 950. We'll be simulcasting it right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 as the Avs and Stars are about to get it going, and the Avs are looking to even up their series against the Dallas Stars. But in our game, the Nuggets get the 101-99 victory over the LA Clippers in Game 4 as they even up this series, heading back to Denver for Game 5 coming up on Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Avs, Stars, next.
Of Gabe Landeskog to NHL ice. Then the valley low of an overtime loss. But we also love hockey, and more specifically the Stanley Cup playoffs, because they provide opportunity for redemption. Colorado has a chance tonight to win and make it a brand new series, a best of 3. So put on your listening sweaters for the Avs and Stars. Force of Nature versus Kindergarten Achievement Sticker. Live for your listening pleasure around North America and around the world on the Altitude Sports Radio Network. Landeskog getting the start for the second straight game. Has the puck near side half wall. Stick handling down the near side boards. Leads it for Brock Nelson. Behind the net for Val Nichushkin, taken away by Dallas. And they'll emerge out of their own end. Catapulted through the neutral zone. Flung out by Mikko Rantanen. Settles for Landeskog. Right on the tape of Brock Nelson, 1-on-4 into the Star zone, and it's stolen by Mikko Rantanen. Here he comes the other way. Rantanen dishes it towards the center of the ice. Cale Makar got in the way. Landeskog bumped for a moment. Falls for Val Nichushkin. Again, he had the only goal for the Avalanche. He'll flip it in, and both teams will change 45 seconds into the first period. Good evening, John Mitchell.
Good evening. Good start here. There's some pace to this game. I'd like to see a little animosity. That's what I'd like.
Yep, little fire. Cale Makar, 2 assists through the series. Throws it ahead. Still no neutral ice for the Avalanche to unlock. Thomas Harley right up the middle of the ice. Tipped by Wyatt Johnston. Stolen by Devon Taves. Taves exits back through the neutral zone. Tossed the other way by Dallas. Danonov down the boards. Over the stick of Mackenzie Blackwood. Makar will settle it behind his own net. Pressure coming from Marchment. Marchment hacks at Cale Makar thrice. Now it's Jonathan Drouin on the third line to start things off tonight with Yoel Kiviranta and Charlie Coyle. Kiviranta will bounce it behind the net. Rolling puck, and Coyle couldn't get there in time. Now Kiviranta a shot. Right pad save made by Ottinger. Stars can't clear. Near side boards. The former Star, Kiviranta, gets in the way, and the tertiary effort from Dallas gets the job done. Seguin, his second playoff overtime winning goal. 3